Have you ever engaged in a serious debate over which is better, Harry Potter or Lord of the Rings? Have you ever played Smash or Pass using only characters from Star Wars and Marvel movies? If you answered yes to any of these questions, we have the podcast for you. Listen to The Steam Gentlemen, the podcast where an expert panel convenes to ask the questions about pop culture and social commentary that other podcasts are afraid to ask. Listen to The Steam Gentlemen on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Ladies and gentlemen, Wrestling Fans International Association is back. That's right, the premier fan club association of the 1970s and 1980s has been revived and is back in business. Join today. It's free at thewfia.org. That's thewfia.org. You can also join us on Facebook at facebook.com/groups/WFIA 1969. Welcome back, everybody, to the 1987 Supermod. I am your host, Brad Drake, and this is the World Wrestling Federation. We continue on with our Christmas series here for 2023. We had the Christmas series of 2022 last year. I really don't know what that means, but we're going to keep calling it the Christmas series. So that's how it goes. So for all this month of December and probably into January, we're going to do the Christmas series. It's going to be the WWF and a bunch of other stuff. So, the World Wrestling Federation here is continuing on with their live event tour, and we are in Springfield, Massachusetts at the Springfield Civic Center. All right, we don't have any television coverage for this one. Our absent workers are nothing except who we know to be out. Let's check our backstage incidents here. Harley Race has got some protege work going on with the young Jeff Crimley. And let's take a look at our card for this evening, everybody. In the opening bout, we're going to see Candice Pardue against Rockin Robin. Jerry Allen and Scott Casey are going to tag team against Barry Horowitz and Iron Mike Sharpe. Ladies and gentlemen, we may see Barry Horowitz actually get a win here, believe it or not. Corporal Kirchner is going to face the Ugandan giant Kamala. Tony Garea is going to tag with Lanny Poffo, and they are going to face the Rougeau brothers. Siva Afi will face the Outlaw, Ron Bass. Hacksaw Jim Duggan is going to mix it up with Dino Bravo. Davey Boy Smith is once again in singles action against Ted DiBiase. Don Muraco will face Cowboy Bob Orton, the Ace Bob Orton. Butch Reed, the natural Butch Reed, will face Jake the Snake Roberts. In our main event, everybody, we have a colossal six-man tag team match as the Macho Man Randy Savage tags with the British Bulldogs against the Honky Tonk Man and the Hart Foundation. That, of course, takes Davey Boy Smith out of the match against Ted DiBiase. So let's find ourselves a babyface to put in there. Why don't we have DiBiase beat up George Steele? Yeah, we'll do that one. All right, so with that said, everybody, with all that said, and keep in mind that the asterisks, once again, indicate matches that have either been added or altered for a certain reason. All right, so with all that said, let's get to booking. And here we go with Pardue. Here we do with Pardue against Martel. Not Martel. Pardue's not facing Martel. She's facing Rockin Robin. All right, here is Candice Pardue. And here is Rockin Robin. We're going to leave this one open-ended because either one of these women getting a win is a good thing. All right, up next here we have Jerry Allen and Casey against Horowitz and Sharpe. Another 8-minute bout here. So here we go. Here is big Jerry Allen, and he is a big dude, and his tag team partner, the veteran Scott Casey, and they are going to face Barry Horowitz and Iron Mike Sharpe. What a duo! Barry Horowitz is a very in-ring talent, very talented man, no doubt about it. Here's Iron Mike Sharpe, and we're going to give Barry Horowitz the win here. It's probably his first win yet here in the WWF. Maybe one of his only wins career-wise. All right, here's Corporal Kirchner, and he's going to face Kamala. All right. We haven't seen Corporal Kirchner in some time in the real world. Real life, he hung around the WWF until 1988 doing enhancement work, and then he went to Japan, where he made a name for himself, I believe, as Leatherface. In fact, I'm pretty certain of that. Mike Kirchner, I think, was his name. I think he just passed away about a year or so ago. We mentioned it on the show. All right, Kamala with the W. All right, up next here we have Garea and Poffo versus the Rougeaus. And of course, Tony Garea is not talked about often anymore. Very rarely do you hear his name come up, but he is the epitome of a tag team specialist. He held the tag title, WWF tag title, on multiple occasions with multiple different partners. Tony Garea was a really good wrestler. Towards the mid to late 80s, he starts doing enhancement work for the WWF, and he also became a road agent. And I think Tony Garea was pleased to continue to collect a check. I think Garea was still working as a road agent up until about 5 years ago or so when he retired. He's got to be in his 80s by now. All right, Jacques Rougeau is going to get the win for his team here. And up next, we have Afi versus Bass. Another 10-minute bout. And this one's not going to go so well for Siva Afi. And here we go. The big outlaw is going to get the W. Next, we have Duggan and Bravo. And they're going to go 12 in this one. Two big dudes here. Vince McMahon liked larger-than-life wrestlers. He liked guys that were big. And big he gets here. Here is Dino Bravo. Dino Bravo was a monster. We'll leave this one open-ended. See who wins that one. Up next here, we have George the Animal Steel against Ted DiBiase. They're going to go 14, which is going to be a long time for Steel, but he can do it. Here is the Animal, one of my favorites as a kid. Of course, when you're a kid, you don't realize how long these wrestlers had been around and how old George Steele was. He's 50, I think, at this point. Yes, he is. All right, here's Ted DiBiase. And yeah, that weird stuffed animal thing that I remember. All right, so that one is in the books. And next, we have Muraco and Orton. They're going to go 16. Or are they the semi-main? Yeah, 16. Okay. Here is Don Muraco. Magnificent Muraco. Still, we'll get that changed up. And here is Bob Orton. Bob Orton's going to get the win. And it's going to come via the manager. Interference. So Mr. Fuji is going to help Orton out here. Orton is not long for the WWF at this point if he wasn't gone already. All right, Butch Reed and Jake the Snake Roberts are going to go 18. This would have been a good one. Here is Butch Reed. Here is Jake the Snake Roberts. Both these guys were in their primes here and could really go. This would have been a good match to see. And we're going to give the win to the Snake here. And that match really happened. All right, now we have our big six-man tag here. Big six-man tag main event. And it is a big one. So we have Savage and the British Bulldogs versus Honky Tonk Man and the Hart Foundation. And these two teams did wrestle each other in six-man tags. Here's Randy Savage. Here are the British Bulldogs. Here's the Hart Foundation. And here is Honky. All right, we are going to give the win here to the Macho Man. And we're going to send these fans home very happy. This should get an outstanding score. All right, this one's booked. We're at our usual 2.5 hours here. Let's go ahead and give it a rip here and see how it goes. All right, Candice Pardue gets the win over Rockin' Robin with the flying head scissors. Good for her. Also known as a side Hurricane Rana, I guess. All right, up next here, Horowitz and Sharpe get the victory over Allen and Casey. And Horowitz uses that Texas cloverleaf to get the win. Good for him. All right, Kamala, of course, defeats Corporal Kirchner here with that giant splash. The Rougeau brothers get the win when Jack wins with that Boston Crab. 78 overall for these two teams. Not bad at all for this short of a match. Afi versus Bass. Bass gets the win with that inverted suplex slam. I think they call that a pancake slam nowadays. 61 overall for these two. Next, we have Duggan and Bravo. And Bravo gets the win over Duggan with that side suplex. I'll never forget WrestleMania 6 in Toronto when Duggan came out to the ring with the American flag. And what an uncomfortable match that was to watch. It really was. It was just uncomfortable because all of a sudden the heel was the babyface and the babyface was the heel. I'd have to watch that again to remember how they wrestled. If Duggan started wrestling as a heel, I don't recall. Easy to do on a house show. Difficult to do when you're on pay-per-view with millions watching it. All right, 82 overall for this one. Good match. Real good match. Up next, we have Steele versus DiBiase. And referencing back to that last match, at that point, Duggan had nothing to say about doing a job to Bravo because he's lucky to have a job back at this point after McMahon brought him back after he fired him. Here we go. George Steele against Ted DiBiase. They get a nice 80 here. And Ted DiBiase gets the win with that $1 Million Dream. That match was a 14-minute match, and you can bet that 10 minutes out of that 14 minutes was George Steele stalling. No doubt. All right. We have Muraco versus Orton, 87 to 77. Nets us an 84 here as Bob Orton gets the win over his former tag team partner. And here we go. Outstanding score here. Butch Reed versus Jake Roberts. And Jake Roberts gets the win with that DDT. Good stuff. Solid, good match. All right, our big main event. What the heck? It only gets us a 90? You got to be kidding me. Macho Man gets the win over Bret Hart with that flying elbow drop. And somehow, some way, this match only gets a 90. Anyway, lots of green here. Green equals money. I didn't want to look at the details in the dirt sheet. All right, here we go. And we get a whopping 88. It's a good score, don't get me wrong. I was just expecting a little bit better here for that main event. We're going to point out Randy Savage. And we are going to point out Bret Hart and Jim Neidhart here. Nope. We're going to point out Butch Reed and Jake Roberts. All right, we're going to make that speech. Randy Savage was happy with our speech. Butch Reed was pleased. And Jake Roberts was happy. That's 2 out of 3 happies, everybody. And we're going to make it a 3 out of 4 because I'm happy. What do you think of that? All right, here we go. Back to the main screen. We're going to make the adjustment here. We are running the Santa Cruz Auditorium next. And I had to add that venue to the game. So those of you that, well, it's going to be too late for you. No, those of you that got version 11, you're going to have the Santa Cruz Auditorium in there. All right, we're back to the main screen here. Spike Huber putting on that weight. All right, lack of big names. Nonsense. It was a great card. We sold it out. Yeah. All right, that's going to do it for us here, everybody. Wait a second. The Mod Squad. Oh, they've regained the Florida Tag Team title. Wow. We got to look at this one because that couldn't have been good. They're a really bad tag team. Got an 82 in that match. That's because Graham and Kern are super over. That's why. All right, that's going to do it for us, everybody, for this one. For those of you that are new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button and drop us a message below. Let us know how you found the channel and what you think of us so far. For those of you looking for more, you can find it over on patreon.com/PowerCast Network for just $5. You'll get access to all of our spreadsheets, all of our shows early, and YouTube ad-free, and you'll get access to the latest version of the 1987 Supermod, which is version 11. It's getting rave reviews. Check it out today, everybody, patreon.com/PowerCast Network. And for those of you looking for us on social media, you can find us at facebook.com/groups/1987 Supermod. Head on over to thewfia.org today and claim your free membership. Check it out today, everybody, at thewfia.org. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next time as we continue the Christmas series, whatever that means.